The conference is called And Still We Rise. And what it's about basically is throughout like a series of months, we've had ambassadors from different schools come together and kind of organize a conference. So this conference touches on a lot of different subjects in the Black community. So for example, we have Black Youth, Are You Listening? We have like workshops in the past have been about shadeism and all that. And in a sense, I look at it as just bringing all the Black youth and just like multicultural youth as a whole in Durham together, because we don't really have a lot of things like that in school. So this is a way to touch base with all the Black youth and multicultural youth so we can all come together and talk about subjects that need to be spoken of.
So the theme for this year is cultivating courageous change. And what we've looked at is how do you cultivate? What do you want to cultivate? So one way that we know we've had some growth is to engage students from various schools who haven't had that opportunity to be ambassadors. They've been engaged in conversation before coming to the conference. So they have had a conversation around what they need to cultivate or what they see as issues, but then it funnels directly into some of the key pieces today. So just to give you a bit of an example, one of the sessions that was formed by ambassadors is hashtag Black Youth, Are You Listening? So they really wanted to look at not only that there are issues within the communities, but where do these issues come from, and how can we move beyond issues or the way that we look at each other to really be support for each other, self-advocate, and then create more of that community feeling again.
For me, the conference is all about empowering youth, and maybe not even just youth, empowering all people just to be the best that they can possibly be, knowing that they don't have to be restricted by their skin color, and that it's about what's inside of them.
I think people really had written off my community, had written off someone like me to be successful. And so it was really important for me to be here with the students to just talk about that sometimes you don't grow up in the best neighborhood. Sometimes you don't grow up in the best circumstances. You know, I came from a single parent, and even that comes with its own stigma, right? My mom had me at age 17, but people wanted to label her, and my mother always said to us, like, you know, get an education, work really hard. And I grew up with those that work ethic and that kind of ethic of and morals of treat people nicely and kindly and be good, you know, and be a good, decent person. And I think for me, it's about instilling those messages to the youth as well, right? That you define your circumstances, right? You do not make your circumstances define you, right? And so that was really important for me to have that message and give to the students. You need to really find that voice within you that keeps you inspired. I think a lot of times we try to look outside for people to be an inspiration for us and to champion us and to believe in us and believe in our dreams. But sometimes that voice has to come from within yourself. You have to remind yourself of your greatness. People deem what is success as someone who's making a lot of money, who's driving a fancy car, who owns the biggest house. But I believe success is being able to look yourself in the eye and say, I treat people well, people respect me, and I love the work that I do. I believe that's success.